Finally! Assassin's Creed Shadows has been unleashed upon this poor world. For real this time, it wasn't a leak. Now by now I've finished the game and I'm ready for the review, but this clinic, this one right here, this is past clinic. This past clinic is full of energy, excitement. I'm ready for Ubisoft to prove me wrong and actually make a good Assassin's Creed game. I'm ready for Assassin's Creed to be brought back to its former glory. It releases tomorrow and I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to play it, cause I'm crazy. Okay, let's talk to present me and see how he's doing. Oh, that was a close one. 35 hours. Oh, come on! So before we get into some critical analysis, let's set the scene. Shadows is Ubisoft's attempt at Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. The perfect setting for an Assassin's Creed game. But this game is caught up in all kinds of controversy, which I've discussed about it before in a different video, so I'm not going to discuss it again here, but it was a lot. We all know about it. At this point, it's the most talked about game on the internet. This game has to be a hit. Like, it just has to be. This video is going to be solely on the game, not Ubisoft, because I feel like I have to let the game sit for a while before I can fully put into perspective what this will mean for Ubisoft. So, let's get into it. Wait, what? I'm getting a call? Hello? Oh? Really? That's crazy. Lawyers? Yeah, I'll be careful, don't worry. So they have no faith in the game whatsoever. Okay, so let me make this perfectly clear. I am talking about the game and the game only. I will be analysing the writing, the gameplay, and the overall design of the game. Don't hate on the developers. They work for Ubisoft. I imagine they need therapy already. I mean, especially for all that courtroom stuff's true, right? Alright, I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to save the story until the end because I am going to go in on it. So we'll save that for last. Let me start off by saying this game is beautiful. Like, actually beautiful. It's really pretty to look at. It is graphically impressive. They do a really good job of making this world feel immersive with its visuals. This really isn't a surprise because Valhalla looked impressive as well, so it's kind of expected, but still deserves to be praised. Oh my god, I thought I deleted my notes for a second. It's like 5,000 words. Castles are detailed. I really liked how the castles looked inside, and the little buildings too. There's a lot of detail there. Really, really good lighting effects. Like, so much so that I appreciated them, which I never usually do. The same goes for the villages and the boats and the rivers. They all look really good. Alright, I'm not going to pretend to know that I know what Japanese architecture looked like in feudal Japan. I'll leave that for the Japanese people to talk about. I ain't got a clue. Okay, you get the picture. The game looks good. Look at Norway's hair. Whew. That's some good hair. Look at the characters' faces. They all look very good. Now, the issue is when characters talk or move their faces at all. I mean, I'll show you a few clips for an example. But they do ruin some big moments in the story where it feels like it just looks like a bit of a joke when that's clearly not what the game is trying to do. What they look like to me is puppets and someone's using their hands to control their expressions because it's all just moving, not in synchronization. It's weird, and the lip syncing is off too. So it just looks very weird. And for a 300 to 400 million pound game, actually for a game that costs $70, it should be better. Now the weather effects are pretty insane. They are very good. When lightning struck at my hideout and I was like, good goddamn. And I just stared at it. I never do that, ever. Like, I never look at visuals in game. Unless it's Stellar Blade. But that's a whole different conversation. What was I saying? Oh, right. Snow, sunsets, lightning, rain. It all looks very good. And props to Ubisoft for using their own engine. It's a nice change, and you gotta kind of respect that. But there are some bugs. It wouldn't be Assassin's Creed without them. Let's have a look, shall we? But the game runs fine though, so how immersive is the world? How interactive is it? The world feels lived in. There are animals running about, birds coming out of the grass and the trees. You got bandits robbing people, clans fighting, random people just having conversations. In the villages, people are going on about their daily lives. There's people on boats and rivers, and it just feels like the world exists without you. Do you know what I mean? I'm riding this mythical beast thing I got, and leaves are just blowing everywhere in my face. There was this one point in the game where there's arrows in the roof of this building, and I walked into them, just expecting to walk through them, and they snapped off. Like, call me crazy, but that's pretty cool, right? It's all just nice little touches that make the world feel more real, and I like that. I respect that. So, another good job. Now, that's about as good as the game gets. Oh, yeah. We're gonna go super in depth. We're gonna be really critical of this mess. So, what's in this world, huh? What's in it? What is there to do? So you've got new locations to find, some random NPC quests, you know, the old just a conversation, or they need something from a village and you have to go and get it and then just bring it back for some XP. Yep, they're here. You know, kill as many bandits as you can for nothing. Then there are minigames. Yes, minigames. That sounds fun. That doesn't sound like a chore that will become real old, real fucking quick, does it? So you got praying, archery, scroll collecting, meditation, sword training, and parkour that the yellow man kindly painted for us so we didn't get lost on the parkour track. Not the hero we deserve, but the one we truly needed. These minigames are so menial, man. I just start thinking about when I'm going to be able to play good games again. But Clinic, just don't do those extra minigames. You don't have to do them. They're optional. And you're right. They are optional. Except they're not. They're not optional, brothers. You have to do them to earn something called knowledge points. I'll talk more about what they're for later, but yes, you do have to do them. But wait, there is more in the open world. There are fortresses. The goal with these is to kill the daimyos and collect the loot. What effect does clearing these fortresses out do for the open world? Absolutely nothing. They all just respawn. This really caught me off guard when I just fast traveled back to one. I jumped off and they were just everywhere. Now these things are actually quite fun to do. Work your way through, be stealthy, assassinate some people, then take your reward. For the first 3 times maybe, then it gets real old real quick. Now later on in the game, I just ran straight for the daimyos, killed them real quick, and then collected my loot and just got the hell out of Dodge. That's your open world. Oh, you've also got the standard vendors and all that kind of stuff you can interact with, you know, that I completely did not forget about and used all the time. So what loot do you get? What is there to use and collect? Your gear consists of 2 weapons. Your mount, which is whatever, your headpiece, your chest piece, and you also have a talisman for a little bit of extra luck. They all have these nice little stat numbers there. These are pointless. These numbers will never actually matter in your gameplay because all you'll ever do with your gear is switch it out for the next highest level because the game is constantly spamming you with new gear. Or you can upgrade a weapon you like, but you're gonna have to go out and get materials for that. You know, to spend more time in the game world. Now you can collect those materials by picking up these tiny little gold circles that are surrounding the fortress, or by doing bounties, or by dismantling weapons. Now if you got a nice piece of legendary gear, you can just upgrade that. That's what I did for the early game. But I got bored of that real quick because I just couldn't be bothered to keep collecting materials. And then going back to the blacksmith every 5 minutes to just rinse and repeat. So it's just way easier and way simpler to just swap them out because the stats are negligible. They don't matter. Green, purple, blue, don't care. If it's a higher level, just equip it. You can also engrave your weapons to add like an extra perk. That's cool, right? That's a cool thing to do. Except you'll get a higher level weapon in about 5 minutes anyway, so what's the point? But that's up to you. If you want to keep spending time upgrading materials, you can. But it's boring. Now, if you haven't got what I'm putting down yet, the whole game is designed to just make you spend more time in it. Just doing tedious tasks that just pad out your game time. That's it. It's boring and I just felt like my brain was dying from lack of stimulation because nothing happens. It's just rinse and repeat over and over and over again. You are locked out of doing main quests until you level up. You can do them, but it won't go well for you. You gotta level up. So if the game's pushing you to do side content, the game's gotta have good side quests, right? Right? You'd think that, but no. Most side quests are basically just random assassinations where you have to take down a group of evil people. You want to know the sad part? These parts of the game are the most Assassin's Creed the game ever gets. You got some companion side quests, which are super, super cringy. That's where the romance happens, and I know you've seen that. We'll talk about them later. You got some other help the people of this region side quests too. You know, the general Ubisoft content that we've all come to loathe. It's just so badly designed, but it's designed this way on purpose. A shitload of side missions, all with the goal of spending more time in the game doing menial tasks. It's... and guess what? Main quests aren't any better. You ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? This is how the main quests go. You track a guy down using your scout network. The scout network is one of the most pointless things Ubisoft has ever added to Assassin's Creed, and that says a lot. Basically, the game doesn't tell you where to go anymore. It gives you like 3 clues, and from those clues, you deduce where this person most likely will be, and then you send your scout there, and they tell you where exactly they are. Pointless. Anyway, after you find a guy, he'll send you to another guy who sends you on 2 to 4 side quests. That's not a joke. And after you do those, you can then do the main mission. Most of these side quests send you to these fortresses I meant earlier, the ones you can already do as a side quest in the game, and they make no attempt of adding any sort of level design whatsoever. Go there and kill someone or collect something. They don't change anything about it at all. It's the same thing that you could have done by yourself, just interacting with the game world. It's lazy. Towards the end of the game, I just run in, get the thing I needed, and run straight back out. No need to do anything more than that. This exposes one of the biggest problems with Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft games in general, to be honest. The open world is the level design. By that, I mean whatever is already built in the open world is the level. For example, a fortress. It has its guards. It has its buildings for climbing. It's got bushes, grass, things you can crawl through and hide through. So what they do is just plop the thing you need in the middle. Or better yet, they won't even use a fortress. There'll just be a random camp in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of a village. No attempt to change it, no attempt to make it more dynamic, no adding obstacles, no puzzles to figure out, none of that. Now, you'd think the main quest, the big one at the end, would be better. Spoiler alert. It's not. One of my earliest assassinations in the game consisted of my target standing on top of a wooden structure with enemies around them. You know the drill by now with Assassin's Creed games. I didn't kill a single enemy, didn't struggle to get in there, and it was over as quick as it started. I mean, remember old Assassin's Creeds when you're flying over Italy in Da Vinci's invention? Where's the creativity, man? There's none of it. Oh, and there being a lack of Assassin's Creed things is a constant theme in this game, by the way. I can be mostly positive about the combat, though. Look at me. Look at me getting all positive. That's right. Combat's all right. It works, kind of, if you let it. The combat is as basic as it gets, really. You got your R1 attack and then you got your R2 attack. You can even hold them down so you break the enemy's posture and do extra damage. Crazy. Then you have your abilities that are tied to that skill tree. That's where your knowledge points come in, because you are capped at 5 different stages for these abilities. The abilities are pretty cool and they affect the fights quite a lot. You got plenty of weapon variety. Nawe has a katana, her kusara, the pickaxe looking thing with the chain. She's got that, and she's got the tanto, the shank. My personal favourite. No, shut up. It's not because I'm English. Shut up. Yasuke has the long katana, the naginata, the kanabo, the bow, and the rifle. The teppo, they call it. The trade-off is Nawe's got her stealth tools. Every weapon is fun to use, and they offer more ways to play the game, which I like. So, something I like. The more ways to play, the better. But most of the time, I just use whatever the highest level weapon I had was. That's not the only variety. Nawe and Yasuke are very different. I'm sure by now you've seen the big difference between them. Yasuke is a tank. He's comical, really, how strong he is. There's a poor Japanese guy that still hasn't landed from last time I kicked him. You just bully everyone. Bosses don't matter. Not to Yasuke. Nawe's the opposite. She's weak as fuck and about as frail as Joe Biden. If you have gear below, even 1 or 2 levels below what the recommended level is, the game will let you know, because in 1 or 2 hits, she's dead. Depending on difficulty, of course. I just didn't like how Nawe felt in the combat part of the game. Her animations and the way she moves and fights, perfect, great, looks good. The damage she does? Laughable. Death by 1,000 cuts. And I get this is a stealth character, So you should get punished by not playing to the style of that character. But here's the thing, why would I ever use Nawe in a combat situation when I could just use Yasuke, who you don't even have to dodge with, he's that tanky. It just bounces off him. And most of her abilities are tied to combat. She's just underpowered is what it feels like to me, especially compared to older assassins. You know, Ezio coming through like that epic cutscene in Revelations where he's just taking people down. That's what assassins look like, right? You may not like it, but that's what peak assassin performance looks like. There's not really any combos to use your hidden blade, which is a seriously big disappointment to me. There is one, and only one, but that's if you use it with the knife. You can get in close and do an assassination in combat, but that's it. She should be carving through these guys like butter. She's quick. She's deadly. I mean, give her a pistol or something just to do a quick attack. But despite the combat being pretty fun, it is clunky. Like, there's just no flow to it. Some enemies just have so much health, you're just pounding away at them, and they are just taking it. You're just pounding and pounding and pounding, and they're just... Wait, parries feel inconsistent with the timing and getting the stun. Sometimes I know that I hit the button way too early. Like, I should be about to get my cheeks clapped, but no, it just worked somehow. Other times when I press parry, and I know I got the timing right, it doesn't work. It just feels inconsistent. Like, it's not awful. Like, the game's not hard where it will actually affect you, but it's just kind of annoying. But when you parry in this game, you get a stun. Sometimes it's after the first parry, sometimes it's after the second. I'm unsure what causes you to get it, honestly. The dodge is more consistent, and that's what I relied on most of the time. The fact that you also carry two weapons is such a lost opportunity to do weapon combos, kind of like Bloodborne, but swapping your weapon is incredibly clunky. You'll press it, they won't swap. You'll press it again, they won't swap. You'll press it again, they'll do a double swap. It's frustrating, man. Goddamn Nawe and her beautiful lady hands just can't swap those damn weapons quick enough. And throwing your kunai and shurikens are clunky too. Like, you press throw, and she doesn't throw. But that applies to Yasuke as well with his bow and arrow. You'll aim it, you'll go to fire it, and he just won't fire it. I don't know if that's a controller issue or an input issue. I don't know, but sometimes it just doesn't work. You'll literally be like this. And he'll just go like this. I'm Yasuke. I don't even need to fire the arrow to kill you. That's just how strong he is, baby. This just made me not want to use them, honestly. They also didn't do enough damage to warrant using them. Even with the abilities they give you, the damage is just really weird. The difficulty isn't difficult ever. Any difficulty really isn't difficult because the game is so mid by design that you can just cheese your way around it. The idea of difficulty is them giving you a small health bar with little health packs that don't even fill your health up when you use them and making you take a lot of damage on hits. That's their idea of difficulty. Not cool boss designs that have weird moves and hard to dodge or anything. No, none of that. It's just all easy to work around. I'm not being elitist or anything like that. If you play the combat how they intend you to play the combat, sure, there might be some challenge there, but I'm sure you've seen the clips of people just lying on the floor and the AI has no idea what to do. It's just so easy to not put yourself in harm's way, especially in the late game when you get your companion abilities. They'll drop in and help you in some way. You can just stand there and watch, to be honest. I'm sure a lot of you like to just stand there and watch, don't you? Oh, by the way, the haptic feedback on the PS5 controller is awesome. Like, it feels like I feel every single raindrop that hits. I like it. So I've mentioned abilities a lot. They come from your skill tree, your knowledge points. Now, don't get excited, because most of these dots that you see are passive effects. So a lot of times I just let my skill points build up to like 20 or something and then just mass spend, because none of it really matters after you get the usable abilities. And when I did activate these stat increases, I didn't see any difference. Not at all. So, stealth gameplay. What's that like? Is that any good? That's gotta be good, right? It's Assassin's Creed. I need a break. This is a very long... I did not realize how many words I wrote. So it's a lot of words. Now, I've heard this phrase thrown around a lot in interviews. It's a return to form for Assassin's Creed. The stealth gameplay is back to how it used to be. I don't see that at all. Would anyone like to point me to where that is? Because I don't see it. It's about as basic as it gets for a stealth game. I played a game where stealth felt like it was just tacked on because they needed to, because that's what the game's called, Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed is a stealth game. It's just not the focus. You have all these abilities for combat, and you have like 2 or 3 for stealth. And they are the basic ones, you know, the double assassination kind of deal. That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head because they're all so useless, there's no point. The combat is so over the top, like this God of War high-power fantasy trip. Not as good as God of War, but like. So when it comes to stealth, it's really basic, and that's disappointing. You got your smokes, you got your kunai, you got your shurikens, and you've got your wind chimes to lure people around. You have your basic toolset. They have some small upgrades, like smokes last longer, the wind chime travels further, kunai doesn't break on impact, stuff like that. But why can't I throw 3 kunai at 3 people standing close together? Like, I can throw shurikens at them, like 3 at once, but they don't do any damage, so what's the point? Why can't I just instantly kill 3 people with that quick assassination? Like, the shurikens just tickle them. Why can't I add poison to the kunai or shurikens? Or make them go berserk and fight each other? You can drop a smoke and do one of my favourite things to do in Assassin's Creed, which is throw the smoke, jump in there and assassinate everyone in there and jump away. But the controls are so clunky sometimes that instead of doing an assassination, she'll just hack at someone with the katana. It's just so disappointing. Why can't I chain assassinations? That was in, I swear it was in Black Flag. I'm pretty sure, was it in Unity as well? I think it was in a lot of them, actually. You could just chain assassinations to the next person. Ghost of Tsushima does Assassin's Creed better than Assassin's Creed does. This is Ghost of Tsushima. Check out what I unlocked. It's called Chain Assassination. Watch this. Oh, and watch this guy. Oh my god. How does this game do Assassin's Creed better than Assassin's Creed? I am a master assassin. Watch me at work. This is Assassin's Creed. This is Ghost of Tsushima. Screw it, the time for stealth is over. We're at the end game now, boys. Let's go! Oh my god, I look so cool. Kunai. Oh my god, insta kills. I'm just the ghost. Wait, smoke bomb. More assassinations. Oh my god. Did I get good? Am I good? Right, there's one more. Oh my. And this is Assassin's Creed. Which one would you rather play? It's just not satisfying at all. I think the way you can move around the areas is fine, crawling through grass, crawling through like small water, where you can put the straw through the water and you can breathe and just crawl through water. That's pretty cool. You can also crawl through crawl spaces under the houses and get in that way. And then if you get caught, you can lie prone on a rooftop and they lose sight of you. Because only one person in feudal Japan knows how to climb. Remember in the Ezio trilogy where these fuckers would chase you to the top of the buildings and tackle you off them? That fast fucker who was faster than you somehow and tackled you to the ground? That's not here in this game. No, literally sometimes I just ran through the enemies or past them. They're just so slow and so non-reactive to you. And you don't even get rewarded for stealth at all. No challenges to complete, and that would have been a way better way to achieve knowledge points. So I just started to make my own challenges as I played the game. This time I'm gonna sneak through without being seen at all. Do I get anything for that? No, just the satisfaction. This time I'm gonna kill my target, smoke bomb, and then get the hell out of Dodge. And when it comes to bosses, there was this one level where I cleared out the whole area. All that was left was the boss. And this is how much damage I did. That's a fucking joke. Why are you complaining though? There's an option to turn on where you insta-kill with assassinations. Look, I'm just playing the way Ubisoft designed it to be played because there are skill tree options that upgrade your assassination damage. So clearly they see it as a progression thing. I just think they want you to play this combat that they clearly spent the most time on. That combat's still not great. There is never an opportunity to blend in and assassinate someone. walk through a crowd, bump into them, and then assassinate them. In Unity, in the Notre Dame, you can hide in the confessional booth and stab him through the confessional booth. That is fun assassination gameplay. There just isn't any of that here. It's as basic as it gets. Also, I don't think the shadow mechanic is utilized enough. I used it once by accident because I forgot it was a thing. I would have loved if they had used it in a more pivotal way in the game, so that if they actually made levels and you went through a fortress and you had to hide in the shadows to get past people, I think that could have been cool. Lost opportunity in my opinion, but I'm sure some people really had the patience to go through these god-awful levels and kill people in the shadows. I also think it would have been cool to climb on the ceiling like a ninja and drop down behind people and stab them. That would have been a good addition. Now parkour. Parkour is basic. Like, that's all there is to say on parkour. They just do it for you, essentially. The best parkour system was and still is Unity. And it looks like it will always be Unity. Like, it was just so good. It was visceral. It felt real. I just had this weight. It was so good. Oh, I forgot about the hideout. It's just whatever. Again, just something designed to make you spend more time in the game. Want these upgrades, huh? You better go out and find some materials for it, because we're not going to give you them easy. No, Ubisoft, I don't think I will go and do that. I think I'm just going to speedrun to the end of the game because I'm bored. And I have to do this review, otherwise I would have stopped playing after 5 hours. Just on the companions real quick, they are weird. You got Cringe Boy, you got Brock Lesnar, and you got feudal Japan's very own Goth Mummy. Now there could be more, but by the end I just wanted to finish the game, so I didn't go and look for any new ones. I just couldn't do any more side questing, man. I put 35 hours into this. That's enough. The writing around all these companions is just so not good.
Your mother leaving was totally your fault.
What?
It's like they just had the intern do it, but not the intern for writing, the intern for like computer tech or something. I don't know. The voice acting is also really bad in this game as well. The voice acting for Cringe Boy was super cringe. Listen to this.
Ha! Got you, dog. Your turn. Then you're here for another type of sword, perhaps? So I'll burn it all! And if the flames take me with them, good!
Right.
Yeah, that's cringe, right? Now listen to a lot of the voices in the game. Like the voice acting in this game, I swear people are just doing their best South Park impression of Japanese accents. Like, it's bad sometimes. And some characters have American accents. I don't know what's going on. Just turn on Japanese audio. Just do that.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too.
Like, honestly, it's like they just grabbed someone from the office and was like, we need you to do a Japanese accent. And he stood up and was like, finally, my time has come. What are we doing here? Brock Lesnar over here is definitely not woke and is here in the game because women in Japan, feudal Japan, were definitely over 7 foot and built like Brock Lesnar. Definitely. That definitely was a thing. Oh, and she also fights samurai with her fists. Not woke. No. Hey, look, if you think that women in feudal Japan weren't running around choke slamming samurai, then you're just a bigot. You're just a horrible, awful person. The music in this game is also strange. Hip-hop trap beats all over the shop. Now, I genuinely thought that they were going to get rid of the hip-hop beat. They didn't. They just put it over Naoi's combat as well. But there are some times where I'm just suddenly Yasuke and the hip-hop beats kicks in and I just lose it. I just start laughing because it's just so out of touch, man. But I remember the soundtracks being really good before this game. Even Valhalla. Like, the music was really good and immersed me in the world. What happened? Oh, and the store. Before I get to the story, I gotta talk about the store. Oh man. This is peak Ubisoft. First week of the game, and there is already outfits and bundles for you to buy. About 5 of them. That's right. And guess what? Guess what, boys? Guess what? It's the best gear in the game, locked behind a paywall, not out in the world for you to actually find something worth using. Just pay for it. It's disgusting and greedy. Good job showing us that you've changed and now you're all about the customer. Instead of all this pointless gear, why not 6 cool assassin pieces of armor that you can find around the map that all have unique perks? Why not do that? No? Don't want to do that? We'll get on to how assassins are portrayed in this game and if they're even in this game at all. Story time. My favorite part of talking about games is the story. Now I'm just going to get this out of the way. I've seen a lot of defense for Yasuke on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. The defense is, if you don't like him, then you are racist. That's right. You're a racist. That's right. If you don't like him, then you are a racist. It's the Disney go-to defense for things that are just indefensible. Let me just explain for those slow of understanding why this is stupid. People are just missing the point with Yasuke. Assassin's Creed blends fiction with history. It always has. But the fiction part of the game has always come in how the Templars and the assassins affect the history. That's usually the fiction and the lore behind that and the world before the apocalypse and things like that. So they would put a historical figure in the game and whatever they did with the Assassin's Creed wasn't real because the Assassin's Creed isn't real. I know it's disappointing. They're just not real. This is a company that used to take pride in historical accuracy. The Notre Dame that they built in Unity is like a complete replica down to the smallest detail. They really put effort into that. Now, they 100% thought that the Yasuke they put in this game is the Yasuke from real life. They were fooled by a fanfic novel pushed as history. They were like, no. He is a samurai. They only backpedaled when the source was proven wrong. A fanfic rewrite of history made its way into a game, a AAA game, and was pushed as being historically accurate because they got this information from this book. It's real. They have never had a protagonist based on a real person, ever. And they decide to break tradition for this guy. Not Hattori Hanzo, who was the leader of a ninja clan. No, he's not interesting. We don't want to do a game on him, who would blend in perfectly to Assassin's Creed. No. We want this guy, who held Nobunaga's weapons. A high honor, to be sure. But he's never been confirmed as a samurai, so why would you just assume that he was? Look, whatever, you chose Yasuke, and it's very clear to me and a lot of other people why you chose to do that. And it's especially very clear when you get to the end of the game why they chose him. Now that's out the way, I'm going to be talking about the story now. Heavy spoilers because the story is so stupid, I just have to talk about it. Just coming out here and saying it sucks doesn't do it justice to how much it actually sucks. The story starts off with Yasuke, and they did exactly what I wanted them to do. He's just a born hero. He's just got that aura of greatness around him. Nobunaga sees this man, gets his knee pads out so he can properly glaze this man the way he deserves to be glazed. Then you have this big dick opening fight scene where you absolutely demolish the Japanese soldiers. Then you switch to Naoe, and he's not seen again for around about 8 hours. Weird move. Really, right? That's a strange way to open a game. But we switch to Naoe, and I'm instantly way more compelled. They bring in the assassins relatively quickly. She looks great. She gets clobbered in the beginning, and we see our hero struggle. It lets us empathize with her. We see that she has heart, but not the skill set to save this important box. Why didn't we start with this instead of the Yasuke Glaze Fest? She's on a horse chasing this man who stole the box, blaming herself as she's riding this horse, taking accountability for her actions, for her failures. It's nice to see a character do that and not blame everyone else for them sucking. This should have been the only main character in the game. I know people would have liked a male protagonist, but I just think we would have got the same as Jin from Ghost of Tsushima, because it would just be the same story, that inner conflict of where he's torn between honor and really embracing this thing he's become that will be able to save his country. Well, let me know what you think about that. But we track this man with the box and assassinate him. Then we run away with the box. We've achieved our goal. But no, she's shot. She's wounded. No, game, no. I'm just starting to like her. Dad comes to save the day, but oh no, the comical 12 show up. I have no idea if there's 12 of them. I'm guessing it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. What you're looking at is the main quests we have to kill. The music is really weird here. It's really out of place. It feels like a western. These chads are about to clap our dad's cheeks right in front of us. No, not literally, you freaks. Dad shows us what Anna is and charges into the jaws of death. The Chads take the box and we're left bleeding out watching Dad die. Now that is how you open your game. Not with that Yasuke Glaze Fest. This should have been the opening. This is a strong start. This makes me want to go on this journey with this character. And I want to know the next part of the story. A classic revenge story. But that's when the game comes to a screeching halt, because you've got open world quests to do. So it just becomes a series of slap quests that you have to do to progress through the game, where the game spends 10 minutes on each cutscene just for an NPC to give us exposition after exposition after exposition after exposition after exposition after exposition after exposition. This NPC that I won't remember when I've done this quest just goes on and on and on and on about what's going on in this region, about the power struggles, which I also won't remember in about 5 minutes. Look, I honestly couldn't tell you a single one of these power struggles or who was involved, and I finished it yesterday. This is the entirety of Act 1 and Act 2. That is almost 30 hours of the game. The last act is very short. Now, Yasuke shows up when the assassination of Nobunaga takes place. You see, Naoe is tricked into thinking Nobunaga is the leader of the Comical 12. So she goes to assassinate him. There's a siege taking place and everything. One of the only times the world actually changes for a level. But it's just background noise. Doesn't affect you in any way. There's a boss fight with Nobunaga. You win, but Yasuke interrupts. He knocks you on your ass. He slaps you silly. But he lets you live because I'll explain why later. But Nobunaga does the unaliving thing because he's lost and he can't surrender. So he does the, I don't want to say the word because YouTube might restrict the video and no one's going to see this anyway. Just a quick side note before I carry on. The dialogue is awful. Like, it's really bad. It serves one purpose, and that purpose is exposition dump after exposition dump. No interesting character interactions at all, and when they try, it just comes off as cringy. Nothing is ever really pushed forward with dialogue. There's just no substance to the dialogue. Just compare it to something like Ghost of Tsushima or Red Dead, and the difference is night and day. Like, it's such a big difference. People have suggested they must have used AI to do this. Don't disrespect AI like that, bro. They're better than that. $300 million game, remember? Probably more. So it should be better. The reason I tell you this is because what Nobunaga says when he's about to do this thing caught me off guard.
Is there anything at all that once given life does not perish?
What? Where did that line come from? I was baffled. I was like, how can the people who wrote this...
Then you're here for another type of sword, perhaps?
...also write this? Something profound and thoughtful. I just didn't understand. Turns out that line is from an old Japanese play. I just found it funny that when a decent piece of writing shows up, it just immediately throws me off and I'm just confused. Now, the way Yasuke joins Naoe is stupid. He's forced in a way that's just painfully forced. So at the beginning of the game, Yasuke is responsible for 90% of the deaths of Naoe's clan. That's who you're killing at the start of the game. He basically got 3 nukes without dying. The man is on a massive kill streak. Now, after Naoe wakes up from her gunshot wound, she's being treated by an old man and a little kid. That's just a piece of context you'll need for in a second. So Yasuke basically follows Naoe and offers himself to her because an old man from Naoe's village told him to help the girl with a blade like mine as he was dying. That's why. Like, it's also revealed later on that he saw an assassin in the past when he was a slave. So there's that bit of context that was added later, but it doesn't. It's just not a good enough reason. Okay, you following me so far? So Naoe doesn't want to forgive him, but the kid that helped her earlier says that Naoe killed his father and he forgave her, so she should forgive him. You know, they need to stop the circle of revenge. It's just done so lazily. They may as well have just had a Ubisoft employee show up on screen and say, revenge is bad. And we need this guy for the final act, so just deal with it. Which I'll get to later because, oh man, is it bad. They could have had Naoe hunt Yasuke down. Yasuke's protecting this kid from these soldiers who want to kill him, or recruit him, or whatever. Then we are shown Yasuke's character, a man who will protect children. Naoe sees this and shows mercy for protecting the kid. Then you have an uneasy relationship that grows into a possible friendship as Naoe learns to move on from from her past, giving who should have been the main character a satisfying character arc. But then she forgives him, and that's the end of Naoe's character growth for the rest of the game. This is 10 hours in, by the way, because now the game starts to revolve around Yasuke. You can still play as Naoe. The game also lets you choose who to pick in certain situations. Through Act 2, most of how the story progresses is through Yasuke, through his contacts from when he was serving Nobunaga. And that's Act 2. Hunt down the comical 12. Now, before we go into Act 3 to discuss that mess of a finale, let's just talk about the characters real quick. I liked Naoe a lot. I thought she was a good main character. And I think Assassin's Creed needs to go back in the direction of having one main character. Not these NPC things that they used to make with Valhalla and Odyssey. It's just a shame Naoe gets benched, essentially. I just find this ironic because there's been rumours that Ubisoft has been annoyed in the past because no one's choosing the female options. With Naoe, they finally have a female character with some depth, and she gets benched for the male option. Bruh. God, Naoe had the potential to stand with the giants of the franchise, but they fumbled it for a glorified virtue signal. It's just such a shame. The actress does such a good job too. Most of her lines are delivered really well with some not so good deliveries, but you know, when she's got to deliver a million lines in this slop fest, I think she's allowed to have a few bad lines. Now Yasuke, oh man, you ready? It's time for the main course. Yasuke is a Gary stew. If you don't know what that is, it's a Mary Sue. Think Rey from Star Wars. No flaws, all perfect, greatest thing ever. Yasuke is instantly seen as great. Nobunaga's instantly smitten with him. And somehow, Yasuke knows Japanese. Sure, I mean, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? He also knows Latin and Portuguese. He's the smartest man in the game, and the game wants you to know that. I guess I missed that part in history where the Portuguese gave slaves a full education. I must have missed that part. Oh, it doesn't stop there. He learns how to fight in a Japanese style in a month and is told he's the greatest to ever do it. He becomes Nobunaga's closest advisor and a samurai all in the space of 1 month. It's ridiculous. And yes, I need to believe that this could happen. Why would I be invested in a story that doesn't make sense? And yes, it's Assassin's Creed. Yes, it's fiction. But I still need to believe that these characters could exist. The pandering and virtue signaling is some of the worst I've ever seen. Every single person you meet has to comment on how great this guy is, how kind he is. He even gets told that he's the best example of a samurai.
Perhaps you are the greatest of us all.
He is literally the savior of Japan. And the way he's treated in this game, he deserves a statue and deserves to be worshipped as a god. It's crazy. And yes, his female romance option is Lady Oichi, I think. Oh my god, bro. Ubisoft, man. I kind of admire the balls just to keep going with this crap. This is one of the most famous women in Japanese history, from what I've seen. It just had to be her, didn't it? It couldn't be a random serving girl or anything like that. It just had to be the most important woman in Japan at that time. It just had to be. And yes, there is more relationships with men and non-binary samurai. I haven't seen it, I didn't find it, and I don't want to. Non-binary wasn't a thing in feudal Japan. That's a modern concept. It's just like they have this weird sexual fantasy that they want to fulfill in feudal Japan. It's weird. It's so weird. Naoe has some romances as well. One guy who is just cringe with awful voice acting, and the goth mummy. And I think there was one more that I couldn't find. Which option do you think I chose? Huh? Which one?
Yes! 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 No! 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 Fuck! Shit!
Now, I did think at one point, just make her lesbian, for God's sake, just do it. Do it, you pussies. Do it. But they literally can't. She has to have descendants so you can play as her through the animus. You even have the option to say to the goth mummy, we'll stay together forever. But how? She has to have kids. Why is there even options in Assassin's Creed for anything? You're playing as your ancestor. Last time I checked, memories can't be changed. Stop trying to be this open world, choose your own adventure slop crap. Damn. Speaking of the animus, let's actually talk about Assassin's Creed. They're barely mentioned, aside from the opening part of the game. Where you get to see them in action. But even they are barely mentioned by name. It's about 15 hours in before you get the side quest that actually follows the assassins. And we get to see some Assassin's Creed armor. Now, I thought these side quests were going to be about finding crypts throughout Japan. These caves that you gotta get through to find these cool pieces of armor. No. They are campsites at the end of parkour minigames. with nothing in them. It's a slap in the face, and I was really curious on how they were going to explain how you can play as Yasuke and Nawe, seeing as you have to be descended from them to play as them. It's just never explained, at least not in the main story, and I don't care enough to go searching in the side story to know. I think I had 2 occasions where something with the animus actually happened, and my big takeaway from this was that I am one thick-ass boy. Nawe never actually learns who the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is, just that her mom was the leader of a group in Japan who was trained by an exile from the Spain portion of Assassin's Creed. Nawe isn't even an assassin really, she's just trained in the way they fight. They might as well just not be mentioned in this game. Oh, and guess what? The Templars show up late in the game. Is it Nawe who confronts them? The one who's linked to the assassins? You know, she's not actually an assassin, she's just cosplaying as one. No, it's Yasuke, because Act 3 turns into a story about racism. No joke. Yasuke goes after the racist Templars because they obviously took him as a slave and treated him awfully. I mean that genuinely, because that actually happened to him, I think. Now, there is a powerful cutscene with Yasuke and his mum and how badly the Portuguese slave traders treated him, but it just feels like a completely different game. If a different game opened up with that cutscene, I would genuinely be interested in playing it. But it's just so different from what the last 30 hours of the game has been, and the fact that you're in feudal Japan, it's just weird. And I also really don't like the over-reliance on flashbacks in any game ever, but why in Assassin's Creed? The whole game is one big flashback. Come on, man. What are you doing? So Act 3 is basically a Yasuke revenge story on some white boys. That's right, an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has a black main character and a white antagonist, and it becomes about racism. The lack of awareness from Ubisoft here, sidelining Japanese people in a story where the first 20 hours is about giving power to the people of Japan. To drop that, to tell a story about racism is just so jarring and so weird. It's incredible. It's incredible. Stunning and brave, Ubisoft. Well done. So Nawe is in no way involved in freeing her people of the Templars. The final boss fight is killing the main bad white guy to an African song, I think. I was zoned out at that point.
No more. Not yet.
Then roll the credits and I thank Jesus it's over. The big problem with this game is it just suffers from an identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be this feudal Japan game with assassins, or does it want to be this game about racism? Does it want to be this game with a female male protagonist, or does it want to be a Yasuke story? It doesn't know. Does it want to be a stealth game, or does it want to be this God of War-like game? It's just all over the place. Game is basically fighting itself, and it just becomes this utter complete mess. The takeaway is Assassin's Creed isn't Assassin's Creed anymore. I give this game $12 out of 50. That's right. I was gonna give it 20, but the game just doesn't value your time at all. It doesn't earn it, ever. It just does not earn any sort of value. I paid $15 to play an Assassin's Creed game, and I didn't play an Assassin's Creed game. I got scammed. So I'll give you 12. And 12's being generous, to be honest. So that's it. This video's done. I feel like I've been standing here for ages. I wanted to go into detail on this one because Shadows is probably the biggest release of the year in terms of what it means for the gaming industry and what it could mean for Ubisoft and how much it's been talked about. And I thought you guys deserve a deeper look into what this game actually is. This won't be a regular thing though. I just offer commentary on the gaming world. I'm not a reviewer. I don't like asking for likes usually, but I played this mess for you and I was in so much pain. Hopefully one day I'll be able to live stream my pain for you. Then you can suffer the 35 hours of pain with me. And now I'm going to play Atomfall because I need some good food, man. But for now, I'll see you later.